This is a good one. Which magazine did I prefer back in the day, The Source or XXL magazine? Both dealt with hip hop. XXL was dealing with hip hop and R&B. So you would have R. Kelly, Mary J. Blige, and maybe later Usher, but you had to have street cred to get it though. The Source was strictly with hip hop. Where do I begin? Before Benzino went off the rails, the Source was the source. I mean, the Source was the source. Source magazine for a while was kind of like a Spike Lee movie or the barbershop. Anything you wanted was there. And it was like almost the holy grail of hip hop because the mics meant everything. Sometimes if you were a critic, somebody may be there to greet you. Remember Wycliffe and that one critic? But XXL was happening too. They had a wide range. They had their reviews. They had their dimes. They had their way. Used to read them both. That's a lost art. Because if you ain't familiar with anything before, dare I say, anything before 2008, 2005, this is going to seem like talking like another century ago. In a lot of ways, it really was. Because let's be realistic. Neither one of those magazines really make much of an inroads to you in a modern capacity. We're talking the past decade. But if you go back, I'd say about 18 years on back, they hit different. 90s all the way to about the middle O's, these hit different. But after, magazines were derailed on cyber world and so on and so forth, not the same. But they both had incredible insight. They both, that was back in the day when you could just read about artistry and what was going on. And they and so but someone asked, I'd say Vibe magazine was kind of like a link between both of them because they catered in there, but they were more mainstream lies. But you thought you had street cred if you was reading XXL or The Source. I mean, they really had that kind of credential. People really took it personal. And like I said before, rappers are hilarious because they got more sensitive about the music critics than R&B pop acts did. I mean, it was some shake up and some beat downs for the kind of review you'd get. But these were two of the most happening magazines back in the day. I mean, they were like, if you were a journalist, people was trying to get in these magazines. They wanted to get their pieces in, and they definitely left an impact. I can't quite begin to say enough because, again, they were enjoyable for the same common goal, but a different aspect. XXL, I said, went to more with R&B, but you had to have a street cred too. The source might acknowledge you, especially when they started doing R&B hooks. That changed the game. But XXL was like combo in it. And I remember a lot of the covers and things. And I remember how big it was. And the suburban kids ate this up. The burb kids ate this up, you know. Because always trying to be down and one step ahead of what was happening in the streets. This was where it was at. And it wasn't that long ago. But if you grew up in cyber world, you grew up on the internet, you won't know what it's like to go to Barnes and Nobles or Walden Books or any of those stores to get the latest issue. Because I remember very well, I remember a cat where I was, this white cat I knew, because we played some pickup basketball sometime. He was all about X-rated records. He was all about wearing his Jordans, and he had his source in XXL. That was like a clockwork, you know. That's before World Star hip hop on the internet and all that. But this was like the end thing to have. If you had the source in XXL magazine, they were the magazines of choice. They were far as the modern, especially if you're a hip hop head and you wanted to see the gear and all that. Those magazines were something else, And it got me thinking about another topic I'm going to do about how when I do about these, because when I get these, what I call my request videos, this is something that I get into. And this is going to be very intriguing because of how I do a compare and contrast in pop culture and how black culture took over, especially like with the magazines, because it became real chic to get the gear, excuse me, the gear, the reviews, and the stylings and your drip. So Source Magazine XXL was definitely hitting, and you saw a lot of commentary and where they went. So it'll be interesting perspective. But yeah, I'm not really getting into which magazine was better because they both had their highs and they both had their misses. But they were two mainstays that if you were a junkie for what was happening around the way, especially in black music, be it hip hop or R&B, this is where you went and got your sources from, and you was checking out the culture. This was like the open secret recipe. So, but tell me, which one did you bop to, or did you care about either one, and how influential they were to you? Because I know for a fact that until with the source highway took over everything, this was your way of getting an access. So let me know where you come down on which magazine you rock to. Because somebody was reading one or both of them at the same time. Please like, subscribe, work on thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear. Watch out for another and shit if you like. Hit that membership. Because when you do, the quest you make, I bring them back to you. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out one time. Peace.